Here we are, we're going to throw a can of petrol on the fire, just to be really naughty. How stupid is that? Ready, sport mode, and go. So it's quite a leisurely start, but then it picks up really well, and there it goes to 100 and emergency stop. You can feel the pitch at the end of that. 0 to 60, it was a bit lazy off the mark, 3.34, but then it picked up a bit, 4.86 to 80, and then 7.38 to 100. Yeah, I think we should take that, 7.38, pretty good. So this, my friends, is the Deepal S07 Premium. They only make one model, and it's premium. And if I start looking at you and talking to you, the next instant it'll do this. What is that? That's like general quarters on a battleship. We have to turn that off. Thankfully, it's possible to put a shortcut on the screen there, so you can turn that off, because a lot of things you need to look at the screen for, and when you do, that's what you get. In the last few weeks I've been driving a lot of very fast cars, so I've sort of got used to the really high performance sedans. So if I seem a little bit critical of this car, don't listen to me, because it's actually really good. Now I've got used to it for what it is. Rear wheel drive, moderately powerful. It's actually a really nice car. So I do have some criticisms, but for the most part I'm really enjoying it. The more I drive it, the more I'd like to own one. So just bear that in mind as you watch the rest of the video. This is probably the quietest car I've ever been in. This feels like an S-Class Mercedes. It's rather nice. So I can talk quietly in this car. So what I'm going to do is take it down to Matt. Mark's not available today, but I know you like Matt. He's a fine mechanic, got great mechanical insight, so see what he thinks of this thing. I like customize mode. You know why? I can set the acceleration strong, the steering firm, and the steering it's lovely actually. Recuperation level, customize, you can set exactly what you want. I've got set to 90%, which is exactly where I like it. Haven't seen a car where you've got that infinite level of adjustment, so that's really, really nice. Now, super smooth ride. Is it sporty enough? I like the steering feel. It's light, but it's quite pointy. Yeah, it leans. There's our lane keeping. Turn that off as well. Brake feels not too bad in that sporty mode. Power's very good. Look, it doesn't pretend to be a sporty car, but in many ways it drives and feels like a Model 3. You're quite low to the ground. You'd hope it'd be quite sporty, but it's not stiff enough in the springs and shocks to be a sporty car. It looks a little bit like a SUV in some ways, but it's not an SUV. It's just that it's got the big blunt front on it that makes it look like an SUV, but it's not. You're sitting quite low. It feels very sedan-like. Whoosh. Yeah, brake's a little soft. It's nice though. It's actually really pleasant. The steering is really nice. The rack and geometry feels nice, but the shocks themselves are too soft. So, which gives you a lovely ride. The family's going to love it. Look, having just got out of the Kia EV5 last week, I felt I was getting into a sports car because I'm at least sitting low. There's not bad lumbar support, but yeah. And yes, it does porpoise a little bit over these bumps, but it's still a really nice ride, and the grip levels are pretty good. Look, if you can't bring yourself to buy a Tesla these days, and you don't mind a car made in China, like a Tesla is, then this might be something for you to consider. As often happens, the more I drive it, the more I like it. The big failing is the driver's seat. There's no squab underneath my thighs at all. You feel like you're falling off the front of the seat. I've got to brace my left foot on what would be a clutch rest just to stay back in the seat. So it's not just that I'm a larger than average person or taller than average person. It's actually not a great designed seat. It needs lateral support, It's got good lumbar support, good turning circle, and it launches very nicely there, you can see. Very, very pleasant indeed driving experience. So what can I tell you about the Deepal S07? It's like Deepal tore down a Tesla Model 3 and said, give them all the things people admire about this car, now add back all the features Tesla took away that people actually like, and make the interior feel a bit more special, a bit like a German car. So how does it compare to a Model 3? Well, the Deepal's a similar size, but it has an 80 kilowatt hour LFP battery, not 60. What else? Tesla doesn't have a screen in front of the driver. You get an excellent head-up display. There's wireless support for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Heated and ventilated front seats. There's a full-length sunshade roof that can be fully closed for our hot climate. An excellent 360 camera view for parking. Vehicle-to-load feature. And not just one pedal driving, on or off, you can choose the exact amount of braking regen you want. I really like that. What doesn't it do? Sure, it doesn't launch off the line as fast as a Model 3 as it's a bit heavier, but it's still got plenty of mid-range shove, more than brisk enough. Claimed range is about 475, not far off the Tesla's 513, and we know little things can be important, so there is a proper stalk for your blinkers. And then you get inside and think, shit, this interior is really quite flash. Might surprise you to know the whole car, inside and out, was designed in Italy. And then you ask yourself, am I prepared to throw almost 60 grand at a brand that 2 years ago no one had heard of? What'll spare parts and service be like? Well, I can't answer that question, except to say that Deepal is just a new brand name, but it's part of the CHANGAN group, which is one of China's big 4 state-owned groups that's been around since literally 160 years. CHANGAN makes Mazdas and Fords under license for the Chinese market, so making cars is not a new thing for them. Around 2.5 million cars the year before last. It's a new brand, but it's a very well-established car building company. Now, I don't normally like cars with such jaggy lines. They just look like a design concept that was never finished. But somehow this one works for me, especially when you see it in the flesh in celestial blue or this nebula green. Cosmic yellow? Yeah, nah, not so much. Now, I'm not going to say it's a Tesla killer. It's not. Not by itself. But combined with all the other value for money comparable Chinese-made EVs arriving in Australia at the moment, and you know who they are, Zeekr, Xpeng, Chery, Volvo, Smart, Leap Motor, and of course the big boys, MG, BYD and Geely, Tesla has had 10 years at the top, but it has a lot to be concerned about. So, Deepal S07, let's go. SBS chill. Now that sound's coming out of my headrest. Hi Deepal.
Hello.
Play the music in the whole car.
Okay.
I like it. Let's go and see Matt and see what he thinks. So it's time to come and see Matt and get him to check out my Deepal. But in the meantime, this is nice, isn't it? Look, the old and the new. What do you think of it? It's they call it yellow, but I call it pine lime splice. To me, that's like a.
That's a good.
Hop in and watch what the screen does. It should if I put that in there. Oh, did I open it?
Oh wow, it even angles to you.
Yeah, if you get on the other side, it'll angle to you over there.
Yeah.
Deepal, yeah. Means deep blue, the Chinese name. They've only been around a couple of years, but it's part of the CHANGAN group, which is one of the big 4 that's been around 170 years.
Look how many menus there are.
Well, yeah.
It's like almost like a police car internals. You know, the computer.
Yeah.
You can't say that's not a distraction.
Thankfully, you can actually drive it without having to do too much stuff there.
That's good.
See, you didn't have to open that glove box by going to the menu like you do in a Tesla.
This is interesting, this finish here.
Yeah, it's sort of fake timber.
Yeah. What's that, like a...
That's the door open.
Oh, no way.
So, and you go, what happens if the electronics go out?
Yeah.
And you can't open it? And that works the opposite to what you'd think. That's down, and that's up. So that's going up now. Come and talk about the styling with me. What do you think?
That glass is double laminated.
Like, yeah, it's very, very quiet.
You don't see that on many cars.
No.
That's real nice. And look at this thing here. Yeah, it's nice and soft.
But it's kind of a two-handed exercise, isn't it? It's kind of, that looks a bit awkward, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Well, I can program it so that they stick out, so you don't have to do that, and you just grab it.
That's good.
This is kind of like a fake brushed aluminium look, isn't it? But it's plastic.
I wonder how it will age, like in 5 years, once it's just out of warranty, will it get water stained or... Oh, what's this? Oh, there it is there.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I get it. So it works.
That's right.
So there you are, Deepal owners. You're lying in bed one night and you have that random thought,
How do I get
what
out?
happens, how do I get out of my car
Yeah.
if the electrics go out? There it is there. Little secret release.
It's not very intuitive. It kind of has to go in. You go like, oh, no, maybe it's just user error.
Notice the screen's tilted towards you now.
Yeah. Gee, it's
Quite plush, isn't it?
a beautiful car.
Do you have thoughts on the seat? Just the way the seat feels.
It's quite flat. There's not much on the base. There's not much side bolstering.
That's correct. I found there wasn't much under my thighs. To brace yourself when you're driving, I have to push my left foot where a clutch rest would be.
Yes.
You know, so I don't fall forward off the front of the seat. A lot of Mercedes
influence right there.
Yep. Would you like to have a little drive?
Sure. Let's drive it.
I'm going customise, which is the way I like it. So acceleration brisk. It's not a super fast car. It's rear-wheel drive. About 160 kilowatt, 320 newton meters, but it feels noticeably more lively than the ones I've had recently.
It's smooth.
Yeah.
So very smooth. That is right. I've just done
You did it the wrong way.
Yeah. It's wrong.
It's just not natural, is
No,
it?
it's not. Can that be dimmed, the heads-up display?
Yes.
Oh, that's great, because that is very bright.
Hi, Deepal.
I'm here.
Make the head-up display dimmer.
Okay.
Thanks, Deepal. I can always rely on you.
You can. You only just met him and you're already relying on him. He's still listening, by the way. Deepal? Deepal, are you having a nice day?
This function does not support voice commands at the moment.
But I did understand what I said.
Yeah, right.
Cancel. If it's all too much for you though, and you don't want Deepal listening in, you can go privacy and turn off all these things. Don't look at this because,
No.
in fact, I'm going to
No,
turn
no.
on distraction warning, and we'll see how long it takes before it decides that you're not paying enough attention.
Will this car steer for me if I like... Oh wow, take over immediately. So is it time-based or is it...
No, it didn't like something it saw. It saw the parked car there.
That 89 high ace,
Yeah,
that's what it didn't like.
yeah. It doesn't like Toyotas, anything Japanese. You need to sit a bit closer. But it's...
Yeah, that's a
not-
pretty
it's not
solid white line, but it still didn't pick up on it, you know? Sort of,
It's like Romper Room with all the musical tones.
this has got the brain power of like someone that's 0.07, 0.06. Do you know what I mean? It's drifting over the line. I don't know what drink driving's like, but it's sort of like this guy's on his phone or he's had,
Yeah.
you
If
know,
you were following a police car, we'd be pulled over by now.
we'd be pulled over.
Don't use self-driving stuff in
No.
this local suburban stuff.
No.
Just turn it off and drive the car.
Yeah, that's it. And I'd say this isn't a bad area. Like the lines are quite bold.
Yeah. But they come and go with every side street.
True. You're right.
Hi, Deepal.
I'm here.
Turn the cruise control off right now.
Can we soften the assistance or...
Yeah, you want softer steering? I can do that. Drive mode, comfort. That'll be softer steering, softer suspension, softer everything.
Yeah, I can feel it, yeah.
On the head-up display, I can choose all the things you can see, and there's masses of them. I can turn them on. Lane departure warning, lane change assist, dashboard indicators, pedestrian and vehicle markings.
Yep.
That's actually pretty good. That mid-range is actually quite good there.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the Deepal factory, there's a couple of disassembled Teslas and
yeah.
Mercedes cars. Hi, Deepal.
Right here.
Open the sunshade fully.
Gee.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hi, Deepal.
Hello.
Stop listening to what I'm saying.
I can't do that.
I'm sorry, Dave. I can't do that.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Have you seen 2001? Voice mode going off. It's a good thing I'm here to do this stuff because you couldn't possibly do this. Microphone permissions. Smart voice.
The suspension's quite floaty.
It is. I'm
It's
glad you
really-
noticed that. It doesn't roll,
Yeah.
but it's too floaty and wallowy.
It's not enough damping on the...
Yep.
They're just not matched together.
Yeah, shocks and springs,
Yeah.
both too soft. But it doesn't roll,
No,
and the steering's nice and pointy.
yeah, it feels good.
It points well.
Whoa.
There we go. Did it just do an emergency brake?
Yeah,
for
it
you?
did. I was
See-
dead in the centre of the lane.
And it saw a parked car and went, now that's dangerous.
Yeah.
We need to turn that off. That's something you do not want to happen. You have it stab the brakes hard just as some guy and his light ace is tailgating you.
Absolutely. And
Driving assist. Everybody off. All the intelligent speed assist functions are going off
good.
because I didn't like it. Aim at that Hyundai. Yeah, now don't aim at the Hyundai. It didn't do anything then.
No.
Which is good.
Yep.
But it's super comfortable, isn't it?
It is. It's really plush. Really plush.
And you notice how low you're sitting? That's your head-up display
Oh, okay.
projector. Like, it's massive.
Yeah.
Even though it's got this big blunt nose on it that sort of screams SUV,
Yes.
it's not. We're sitting quite low. This is like a sedan.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
It does feel very sedan-y.
Which I like. I'm really warming to it. I love that you can turn these things off
That's great.
with one easy touch there.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's quite a clear camera.
Yeah, not a huge one, but it works pretty well.
It's got wireless charging.
Yeah, there's a cooling fan in there too, I think. There's another couple of charge ports down here,
Yep.
and this big tray underneath.
Oh, yeah.
So you can put a lot of stuff down there.
Are these charging?
This
there?
one is.
Oh, that's good. Are
As
these
well.
air cooled
Yes,
or?
they are. Now you can't. There's no vents you can move with your fingers.
Yep.
You've got to do it this way. And then you can.
Oh, yeah.
You can have swing or not, or just free, or.
Oh,
or
wow.
You can push them where you want. I'd rather do it with my hands.
You don't even see the vents, do you? Really, they're so inconspicuous.
Down there, this whole thing along here.
Yep.
It's one giant vent.
It looks like it's finished really well.
There's no doubt they make quality cars, and believe it or not, you've got all these gestures to do things. Watch this. If we go like this, the camera's looking at me. Photo coming. It just took a photo. Pause the song. Hang up the phone.
That's
And
very.
answer the phone.
Yeah.
You know, the phone rings. You go,
Yeah.
hello.
That's very cool.
In other ways, it looks beautiful. Look, airbags. It's got
Yeah.
speakers in the headrest. Quality feels fabulous, but there's just not enough bolster. But having buttons for releases, like where's my manual release? If your car's doing 2 k's an hour and want to open the door, you won't do it. If you blew the fuse just for that door latch,
true.
how are we going to get out? And the trim, this nice leather,
Yeah.
it's so fancy in the back.
Look at the room you have. There's
Yeah.
the light.
And importantly, leg room, because with the high floors of the batteries, a lot of the times you can't get under there. And we've got our own AC controls in the back. Wow, separate AC for the rear with physical vents we can actually move.
That's good.
I guess it's synthetic leather, but it's really nice, isn't it?
I
This-
think the rear seats are nicer than the fronts, to be honest.
They are, because
Yeah.
they've got plenty of squab under them.
Yeah, they actually feel.
Here's your checklist, Deepal. Springs and shock absorbers, slightly stiffer.
Yep.
It did dive a little bit of anti-dive, and front seats, thigh support. That's all you need. A little bit more lateral support,
Be nice.
and we'll take off the giddies and we'll put on some Michelin Pilot Sport 4s,
Yep.
and then
So nice.
then
shocks.
you've got a weapon. You've got a great car. We love it, don't we, Matt?
It's good.
Speakers in there, so when you answer your phone, you can have it so it only comes through just for you as the driver.
Oh, that's good.
So other people don't have to listen in on your conversation. Sentry mode, inbuilt dash cam,
Oh,
and this car.
that is smart.
Yeah. I turned it off before, and when I got in it said, would you like to turn the dash cam back on?
That's
Because
great.
you'd forgotten. You go, that's really cool. And if you've ever wondered how useful dash cams are, here's a little bit of footage straight out of the car.
Oh shit! You idiot! Bloody hell! That was so dangerous.
Illuminate the future.
Illuminati.
Do you like plastic hubcaps?
Yeah.
Go on, pull them off. I want to see what's underneath. There we go. Hey, look at the size.
Smart. It clips into the center cap as well. So.
Yep, good support. Pretty decent sized rotors too.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, I like those better than the hubcaps.
Yeah, they look good. Shame the hub center cap comes with it.
Giddy's Indonesian brand, I think. Advanced Techs. Pretty sure they're either Indonesia or Malaysia.
Simple.
It's a shame that seat looks so good. It looks great,
Yeah.
but then it doesn't support you enough underneath. It looks like it's already had debris and road rash coming up and scoring it.
Instead of coming around, stuff's going to get caught. Or...
That is a vent. That air goes in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little curtain, just a little air curtain there.
Yeah.
But you're right, you know, that's a natural trap for debris and stuff, isn't it? That's decent. 145 litres, I think. Nicely carpeted too. So, let's just say that if you're one of those people, and we can be open about this now, who doesn't want a Tesla. I get it. You were looking at a Tesla, you wanted a Model 3, you drove it, it was great, the price is reasonable, although with the Highland model you hate the way that you haven't got an indicator stalk. Look, a real indicator stalk. Anyway, you've now gone off Tesla. Well, let's just say that you're spoiled for choice. And to me, the standout comparable EVs to the Tesla, either the Model 3 or the Model Y, are most often not sedans, but they're SUVs that I've enjoyed driving lately. The Xpeng G6, the Leapmotor C10, Zeekr X, a little bit smaller, but so much personality and heaps of performance. Kia EV5, Polestar, and the Volvo EX30, more cars out of the Geely stable. And not to mention the latest to arrive, the BYD C-Line 7. Really looking forward to reviewing that. So look, if you're happy to have something slightly smaller, the brand new Geely EX5, the long-serving BYD Atto 3, and of course the cheap and cheerful MG4, you're just totally spoiled for choice. And that's before we even get to the new Europeans, like the VW, ID4, ID5. So look, so much choice, but let's continue with the Deepal. Oh, speed alert. I'm doing 51 in a 50 zone. How do we turn that off? So if I don't want that speed alert going, cruise pilot, intelligent speed assist. Just turn those off. Have I got a shortcut for that? No, I can't. Oh well, the secret is don't speed. Don't do 51 in a 50 zone and it's not a problem, Stu. Put the grip down very well. Traction control's good. I might have undersold those giddy control tyres. They might be actually better than I gave them credit for. So, plus it's got heated and cooled seats, heated steering wheel, sunshade pano roof. Doesn't open, but that's okay. So much light in here. 360 cam at your fingertips, just like that. Season mode, car wash mode, dog mode, light show mode, privacy mode, camping mode, smoking mode. Opens the windows a little bit to let your fumes out. Human and pet detection. Enable.
Camera is on.
Hello. I'm a pet, apparently. Wow, look at them all. Are you ready, boys? Thank you. Wait, easy. I don't trust the Triton. The Triton wearing off-road tyres coming downhill to a wet roundabout. Yeah, I didn't really trust him. Yeah, don't want to be seen in a Tesla. I get it. Get this. We'll get that Volvo EX30. And the shove's really good. The shove builds up. It doesn't launch hard off the line, but it actually builds really nicely in that 20 to 60 k's range. Just the seat. I'm sorry the head-up display doesn't show on camera, but it's all there. I can see my battery level, my speed, the fact that my headlights are on, navigation, parked cars. It's almost too much information, but if there is too much information, you can turn it off. Now, unusually, it started to rain, and I just couldn't resist taking it out again to find out a bit more about its grip levels. I might have undersold these giddy tyres, you know, they might actually be better than I gave them credit for. I haven't really been able to drive them that hard on the road. They really haven't misbehaved so far. They're pretty good. So a few bumps mid-corner there, which it just takes in its stride. Change of direction, change suddenly. Ooh, the back swung out and then settled and sat down. So yeah, you just got to be smooth. You don't fling it round too much. Here's a really good corner onto the bridge. Yeah, you can hear the tyres there. What are our pressures? 35. That's a little bit low. In line with the comfort nature of this car, we'll leave them there. And the steering's nice too. It's pointy. Like this is the heaviest setting, and it's still reasonably light. And there's a little bit of feel there. Very enjoyable. You know, this really doesn't drive like an SUV. You feel like, even though the seat's a little bit high, you don't feel you're sitting in a high-riding bus in this thing. It's actually quite nice. I don't think I was being fair to those gitties early on. I shouldn't have criticised them, and they seem to be pretty grippy. This is a nice bit of road, but the surface varies. There are bumps and dips, and you can see it sort of porpoises a little bit over them, but it stays flat. It doesn't seem to pitch front to rear. If I brake hard, it actually stayed flat. We had a little bit of lock up there, as you heard, because it's wet. So under brakes, yeah, okay. That was strong enough to turn the hazard indicators on. Yeah, it actually flows really nicely. Lateral grip. Yeah, it's very nice actually. Bit of a brake, roll off it, float round here. Yeah, that's actually good. It's still got grip. The lateral grip's good, but it's got this relaxed manner about it. It really doesn't like the really sudden stuff if you're too jerky with it. But if you're just flowing, see the back moved and then settled again? It's not a rocket ship, it's not a performance sedan, but it's actually really quite good for just flowing along like this. So newfound respect. A flowing corner that's quite long. So in rally terms, this would be a long 4 right. And you tighten it in. You hear that? So it's just starting to push at the end, but it was very neutral. It was front and back, both pushing a little bit together. And we're not going fast here, but we're just keeping a constant speed in these very tight corners. I could actually really live with this car on a day-to-day basis. It's compared to my X-Power hatch, it's way down on power, and that's frenetic little rocket. But this is a really nice family car, although I would prefer a bucket style seat with more lateral support. Now coming up soon, we've got, just about to be released, is the Geely EX5, and that's coming in at a very convincing price of around 50 grand on the road, whereas this is just about 60 on the road. This I think has a lot of advantages over that car, and we haven't even seen it yet, but it is front wheel drive, this is rear wheel drive. So that's my review of this car, the quite surprising Deepal S07 Premium. I don't know why they call it premium, because there's no other model. That's the only, everything's premium with Deepal. And it is. It's a nice car. So as I said at the start, if a Tesla's just a bit too cringy for you now, there's a lot of Tesla in this car and a lot extra as well. So maybe worth considering. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Hey Deepal,
I'm here.
I'd just like to thank you for all the wonderful things you are.
This function does not support voice commands at the moment.
Oh hey, you made it right through to the end of the video. Congratulations. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, please share it with your motoring friends. And above all, click the little subscribe thing down here so you can see the latest videos when we bring them out, hopefully each week. I look forward to seeing you soon.